Fast forward, I realize now that the way that we show up, I'm not saying that he was okay, right, what he did, the way that he treated me, but the way that we show up really impacts the way that we are treated. And there's really good data to support what we teach at Sandler to keep us out of those types of situations. So what I want to share with you today is, what does the science say about how we show up? And how can we practice the art of showing up, regardless of how long we've been in the industry, how long we've been in sales, what our actual title is? How can we practice the art of showing up anyway? You'll remember this from David Sandler. Those who have heard the actual recordings of David Sandler saying this rule, and I might offend the Northerners in the room, but David Sandler, as a Southerner, it sounds really funny to me. He says there's no begging in sales. The Northerners are like, what? That sounds normal. To a Southerner, it sounds very odd. There's no begging in sales. And this is really the crux of equal business stature. To avoid ever feeling like we are begging for the business, because there's no reason for that. We have something valuable to offer at the table. So if you were in yesterday's talk on equal business stature, Dan Stalp gave us a lot of really practical tips on how to establish and maintain and reinforce our equal business stature. He calls it equal business posture, same thing, throughout the sales process. So I'm going to leave the tactical stuff to that talk. And what I want to talk about today is this idea that in the organizational psychology and leadership psychology research is called gravitas. So by looking at this image, it's very clear who has the gravitas in this conversation. It's that je ne sais quoi, I probably said that terribly, my accent, but what we can't describe about, there are people who, when they speak, their words carry weight. When they speak, people stop and they listen. When that person speaks, they can actually pause mid-sentence, gather their thoughts, and nobody interrupts them, not even the I styles or the D styles. Those are the people with gravitas. And they don't always have the highest actual stature in their organization. But if we search for words to describe, okay, who are these people who have this elusive gravitas? These are words that often come to mind. They're charismatic, they're confident, and they just have that gift. But there are myths that underlie all of these words that prevent us from, who don't feel like we have gravitas, from actually having our gravitas. So let me explain what I mean by that. First of all, let's define the word gravitas. A seriousness and importance of manner causing feelings of respect and trust in others. And I'm working mostly from the research of Dr. Rebecca Newton. She's an organizational psychologist, so I'll mention her name once, but know that a lot of this comes from her work.
Thank you for watching this highlight video from the Sandler Summit. You can join us for the next Sandler Summit in 2024, March 19th and 20th at the Orlando World Center Marriott. Register now at sandler.com/summit.